I want to say it was no more than 30, 45 minutes. And I don't think their air was off that entire time. I think there was a time in between. I had checked on her last. It was still running. She was still sleeping. And then when I went back out.
A father plays video games and browses adult sites while his 2-year-old daughter loses her life in a hot car. This isn't just a tragedy, it's a reflection of severe negligence inside a family. In today's murder documentary Real Stories video, we'll trace every minute that led to a child being forgotten. Stay until the end to understand why even a 30-year prison sentence can't erase the guilt. This documentary contains real criminal events and may include themes of child serious harm and parental negligence. We do not show any images of anyone getting harm at any point, but viewer discretion is still advised.
So I'm being treated like a murderer?
No.
I just lost my baby.
Not at all. I know that. And I know this isn't easy for you.
In Arizona, a father who left his 2-year-old in a hot car is about to admit what he's done and what it will cost him. Parker Scholtes, 2 years old, bright-eyed, perfect, did not survive, for no reason except that her father, Christopher Scholtes, was in the house, playing video games and looking up adult sites while she slept in the car. Christopher Scholtes was Parker's father. It happened in July of last year. He left Parker napping in her car seat. 3 hours. Now, more than a year later, with a homicide trial days away, he will plead guilty. But first, the body cam and how we got here. Parker is found unresponsive in the family driveway. Christopher is a stay-at-home dad. His wife, Erica, a physician, is at work. She comes home and asks, "Where's Parker?" Only then does he realize she's still in the car. The 911 call is chaos.
What are you reporting?
She was in the car sleeping. She's unresponsive.
Okay. And who is she?
Please, please.
Who
My
is she?
daughter. My daughter. Please, please, please.
And this was out in the driveway?
Yes.
Is she still breathing?
No, she's not breathing right now.
Okay, we need to start CPR right now.
Yes, we are. We're starting CPR, yes. Oh my God. Oh my God.
How long has it been?
Half hour. It was, but it turns off. I've been checking. Oh my God.
Okay, is she breathing yet?
Is she breathing? Oh. No.
The ambulance crew quickly arrived and tried to save Parker, but it was too late. Inside the house, cameras blurred the worst of it.
Anything.
And then, Christopher actually asks why police are there.
Why don't we have a seat somewhere?
What's going on? Why are you with me?
Because we were first responders and we were on scene when anytime they call us. Anything like this happens, they call us.
Christopher insists the AC was on, the car running.
The AC was on.
What car was
Are
it?
you guys all here for me? My MDX.
The one parked
in the
outside?
driveway.
The black one? Okay.
The blue.
No blue.
Are you guys here for me?
We're...
Yeah. We want to do everything we can to help. That's why you have so many of us. This is my worst nightmare.
He's wrecked, sobbing, pacing, but this emergency is of his own making. Erica, doctor, mother, can see what others won't say out loud, yet there is nothing to be done.
She's dead. Like, I need to be with her right now.
Oh my God, my nose! She's dead. We're nothing. Sir, we're doing the best we can. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. No. You're going to Northwest. We'll get together. Get on to university.
Yeah, they're going to Banner right now. We're gonna keep you updated with everything, okay? We just need to stand by with you right now, all right? Is that your wife out there?
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna make sure she gets down there, okay? All right. We have officers escorting her down there. If we need to, we will drive her down there, and we'll make the same accommodations for you. All right. We'll keep you updated with everything they have. Yeah.
Police were at Christopher Scholtes' home for a period of time until they received a call from his wife.
She wants me to try and get her right to the hospital.
Hey, we'll accommodate that for you. All right. We're just gonna need to get a statement from you about what happened, what's been going on. Obviously, I know this isn't easy for you. Okay, it's not easy for anyone around right now. We're gonna keep you updated with everything we hear. Do you want to sit down somewhere? Where would you be most comfortable?
Sure, like...
You want me to refill this for you? Can I sit? Is that all right?
An officer quietly called Scholtes outside. During the brief conversation, Scholtes said the car was parked in the driveway, not in the garage.
I'm sorry this is all going on.
We always park that car in the garage usually, but I just got a Peloton recently, and the Peloton is in the garage now, so that's why it's not even in the garage. But
And how long was she sleeping in the car out there?
I want to say it was no more than 30, 45 minutes. And I don't think their air was off that entire time. I think there was a time in between. I had checked on her last, it was still running, she was still sleeping, and then when I went back out, the car was off.
Christopher wants to go to the hospital. Plans shift.
Just to let you know, I don't want to feel like we're intruding, but we're gonna have to stand by with you for a while. All right.
Is there a reason why?
So any death, we have to treat like a crime scene. I know this is extremely difficult for you. This is a normal process that we have to follow through with. I don't want you to be blindsided by anything, but that's what's going to be going on for right now, okay?
So I'm being treated like a murderer?
No.
I just lost my...
Not at all. I know that. And I know this isn't easy for you. That's why I'm trying to be straightforward and honest with you, okay? I don't want to keep any secrets. I don't want to hide anything for you. Someone's going to talk to you about what happened, though. All right? We will keep you updated with everything.
My whole family, my whole family's gonna be ruined.
Would it be all right? So we can't let you do that right now. We have to stand by with you. Okay? As soon as you can, we will let you know.
You can stay in the room if you want, but I'm gonna talk.
I know this isn't easy for you, but the quicker we get this done and finish up, the sooner you can be with your wife. All right?
I'm trying to rinse off so I can go to the hospital to be with my wife.
We're not going to shower or anything right now. You need to stand by with us.
I don't understand why.
Okay?
Soon after, the tone changes, second-degree homicide is announced, and he's taken into custody.
So remember how we talked about the investigation and things that would transpire? Okay. And I told you I'm always going to tell you guys the truth. There's no secrets here, right? So based off of our investigation at this point, right, we have determined that there's probable cause to go ahead and charge you for what happened. Okay.
Let's come out here, Christopher.
No.
It's okay. It's okay.
No. Okay. So listen. No. Listen. Okay. This doesn't change. This doesn't change what's going on. Okay. What happens at this point? It's simple. Okay. What happens at this point is you are going to be taken into custody, all right, and you will be booked. And then after you are booked, you have an initial appearance with the judge within the first 24 hours, okay? After the first 24 hours, right, the judge will determine bond and things like that as far as what happens next. At that point, the case goes to the courts. It'll be between you, it'll be between your attorneys, and it'll be between the county prosecutor. So, again, I can't change the consequences of what happened, all right? But what what I'm going to ask of you. Okay.
Could I just have you stand up for me, please?
Come on, Chris. Let's go out here. Can you grab him some shoes, please? No, come on, Christopher. It's okay. It's okay.
The charge was later upgraded to first-degree homicide. Detectives say they never believed he intended to cause her serious harm. Parker, but his children, told investigators this wasn't the first time. He'd left kids in the car to nap more than 50 times. There are texts between Christopher and Erica while medics rush Parker away. She texted, "I told you to stop leaving them in the car how many times?" He replied, "Babe, I'm sorry. We've lost her. She was perfect." And finally he says, "I caused this to our baby. This can't be real." Christopher pleads not guilty at first. Erica speaks in court supportive, begging that he be allowed home to grieve.
I just wanted to say that no one understands how great of a tragedy this is more than myself, my girls, my remaining 2 daughters, and Christopher. So not only do we have to move forward with grieving for my daughter, but we potentially could be losing their father. So the absolute worst case scenario for our family is if Chris were be away from us. We're already hurting. No one else shares this bond and this trauma like all of us, all 4 of us. I know the significance of the tragedy, and I don't want you to think for a second that I underestimate the impact that it has on our lives, on everyone's lives, or that I'm undermining your concerns about the safety of those in our household. So I'm just asking if you can allow him to come home to us so we can all start the grieving process so that he can bury our daughter with us this upcoming week, and that we can go through this whole process together as a family.
Eric said it was Christopher who stayed home to take care of the 2 daughters while she went to work to take care of the family, calling him a coach, a pillar.
He's an amazing father. He's a pillar of our community. He's been a coach for young kids. He's taken them to school every day. He's been the main caregiver. I work many hours, so they're all that he sees. This was a big mistake, and I think that this doesn't represent him. And I just want the girls to see their father so that I don't have to tell them tonight that they're going to endure another loss. One thing I didn't mention is that I have taken an extended leave from work so that I will be home with the kids. I just wanted to make that note.
Police say Christopher claimed he didn't want to wake Parker, left the car running with AC. Later, investigators learned the car was off and she'd been inside for 3 hours. The medical examiner estimates the cabin reached 108 degrees. Prosecutors offered Christopher Scholtes a plea deal, but he refused.
Mr. Scholtes, are you comfortable reading and writing in English? All right, you've been able to understand the court proceedings?
Yes.
And have you had any drugs, alcohol, or medication in the past 24 hours? Do you feel like you're thinking clearly today? Yes. And you've had the opportunity to consult with your attorney concerning the plea agreement?
Yes.
If you had questions about the plea agreement, were they answered to your satisfaction? Do you understand that the state does not have to offer you this plea again after today? The exposure that the attorneys agree on is that if you are convicted at trial, you would face a possible natural life sentence on count 1, and for the count 2, dangerous crimes against children, the sentencing range would be between 10 and 24 years. The presumptive sentence is 17 years. Both of those would be flat time sentences. Do you have any questions about that exposure at trial, if you did go to trial and if you were convicted? Okay. The plea offer that has been extended to you is a second-degree murder, which would be an amended count 1. The sentencing range exposure is 10 to 25 years. What is the presumptive, Mr. Charles? I'm sorry. 16. The presumptive is 16 years. That would also be a flat time sentence. Do you understand that that is a plea offer? Okay. And that there's a maximum statutory fine of $150,000. There can be up to 83% surcharge as well. There is also a requirement that the court order community supervision upon a completion of a prison sentence. Are there any other operative terms that the court's overlooked?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Adair?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Scholtes, are you being threatened in any way to reject the plea agreement? Has anybody promised you anything outside of this courtroom or the plea agreement to compel you or help force you to reject the plea agreement? This is your decision? Okay. And understanding the consequences and risks of going to trial, do you want to reject the state's plea offer to second-degree murder? Right, the court does find that Mr. Scholtes is knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently rejecting the plea agreement.
But the story doesn't end there. Just weeks before trial, the defense and prosecution meet again. The judge rules that jurors will not hear about Christopher's pornography searches that day. And suddenly his stance changes. He agrees to plead guilty, 1 count of second-degree homicide, 1 count of intentional child abuse under circumstances likely to cause serious harm. In a statement released today, the attorney confirmed that Christopher Scholtes has agreed to a plea deal. Both sentences will run consecutively for a total of 20 to 30 years of flat time, meaning no parole, no early release, no good time credits. The county attorney issues a statement. This plea ensures justice for Parker Scholtes, who did not survive on July 9, 2024. They thank prosecutors, investigators, and victim advocates for seeing the case through. But the headlines don't end there. Old records resurface. Child abuse investigations dating back to 2017 accusing Christopher of verbal and physical mistreatment, even withholding medication. None were substantiated at the time. Legal analysts weigh in.
When I read about this case, it reminded me that long before I was a prosecutor, I think I was a lawyer, I was a young lawyer, I read about one of these cases where the parents had left a child in a hot car to die a horrific death. And then I did some research back then and found out it's actually happens a couple dozen times, if not more, every year. And so one of my first major op-ed editorials in a big city newspaper, I think it was the Atlanta paper, if I recall, was pointing out that there needs to be jail time. Even though it's a tragedy, even though it wasn't intentional, there needs to be jail time. Number one, because we need to have some recognition of wrongdoing. And number two, we need to send a message to others that your children are not your keys that you misplace and that you don't know where they are at a given time. I've not prosecuted a hot car child death case, although I have prosecuted cases surrounding dead and abused children. So when this one came out, it reminded me of my early concerns, and the fact that it's still happening is just as frustrating as it ever was.
His wife, a doctor, told him many times to stop. Other parents had even seen him leave the kids in the car before. It wasn't a momentary lapse, it was a pattern. That's why prosecutors pushed for first-degree felony homicide tied to child endangerment.
Yeah, his wife is a medical doctor and had told him on numerous occasions to stop doing this. He has 2 other children. Apparently he did it with them as well. If this was leave the kid in the car for 10 minutes while you go inside to take the milk and the eggs out of the bag and put it in the fridge, that's one thing. This is allegedly 3 hours of him playing video games and looking at porn. The porn is not going to come in apparently at trial, but the playing video games for 3 hours. You have a child, I have children. Anyone who's raised children know that in the middle of the day, they tend not to nap for 3 hours. That would be an extremely unusual nap. And so setting aside the notion that it's really shouldn't be leaving children alone in cars for all of the bad things that could happen, the amount of time and the number of warnings that this man had make this a very compelling case. Murder because it's felony murder, which is one of the ways in most states to get to the highest murder charge, is being responsible for the death of somebody else. Even if it's not intentional, this was not intentional, but the death of somebody else while committing another felony. Now, most of these felony murder cases are while committing a kidnapping, while committing an armed robbery. But in this case, it's while committing child endangerment at the felony level. And his history of having done it is what really makes the charge here. Well, it is dangerous, not the least of which cars get stolen, and every year there are accounts of cars being stolen with children in the back. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens enough that parents should be thinking about it. Some of your viewers know that I just recently prosecuted a case where mother and father had a very aggressive pit bull mixed dog that mauled their baby infant 6-month-old child to death, and I'm in the middle of the sentencing process for each of those right now. We did not go to a jury, but one of the considerations had we gone to a jury is similar to what's happening here. You have to wonder whether there's one or two jurors who simply say the death, the loss, the guilt is punishment enough, and I therefore don't want to vote to convict and add further punishment on the head of a parent who will have to live with this upsetting outcome for the rest of his or her life. That's an aggressive lawyer who says let's roll the dice on first-degree murder, given how bad these facts are and given how angry most jurors would be. There's usually a lot happening below the surface that we can't see from the filings or from the public court settings. In most hearings before we have with the judge, we'll be back with the judge beforehand, both lawyers and the judge, talking about things that never are made public. So prosecutors are not supposed to talk about plea bargains about to happen publicly, and so the fact that they're talking about it means there could be one. And both sides are always interested in getting a good result without having to risk a bad result. This is not unexpected. In every one of these cases, the prosecutor knows that he or she is taking a risk of having the jury acquit or hang. And of course, the defendant is taking a risk. So in this case, with this plea agreement, each side gets some certainty about the outcome. The prosecution knows that they're going to get a conviction. The defense knows that they're going to get an offense level that's less than that they would have had if he had gone to trial. So this is why so many of our cases are pled out, not because it's not important to stand for justice, but because each side has an interest in seeing this resolved in some way. I've seen many cases settle right before trial if the judge will allow it. Some judges are kind of harsh about this. They say no pleas a week out unless it's to the indictment, because you can always plead to the indictment. But smart and prudent judges will allow the pressure of the inbound trial to force a resolution if it's going to happen anyway. That's likely what happened here. Yeah, parents have this important caretaker role and protector role for their children. And parents who set that aside to go play video games or do other distractions probably shouldn't have been parents in the first place. None of us is perfect. We all make mistakes. This is a serious mistake, and it came about not from mere carelessness. This is criminal recklessness, and this is endangering children. And the thought of what that child went through when the person who was supposed to be protecting her was the one who left her to bake to death, it breaks my heart.
As the discussion closes, the experts admit the same thing. Every parent who hears this story feels the same shock of sorrow. Parker never had a chance to escape, and Christopher Scholtes will spend decades in prison replaying those hours, knowing every warning he ignored led him here. You know, this is a really thought-provoking case because whether she was left alone or not, it doesn't matter anymore. A small child strapped into a car seat, unable to free herself, and her little body slowly overwhelmed by the extreme heat. Just think about it. While she was sleeping, everything that seemed peaceful turned into tragedy. Parents, they are the only shield between a child and danger. He will be sentenced next month, facing between 20 and 30 years behind bars. A sentence born from distraction, denial, and the irreversible silence of a child left behind. A 108-degree afternoon, a child left in a car for 3 hours, and a father who said, "I forgot." But this wasn't the first time. He had done it more than 50 times before. In this documentary video, justice finally catches up, but too late for Parker. Thanks for watching. If you want more real stories murder documentaries that expose the cost of denial and neglect, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Before we wrap up, I just want to remind everyone that this video was made purely for educational and informational purposes. We do not support or glorify reckless driving, violence, or criminal behavior. All individuals featured remain innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Stay aware, stay safe, and thank you for watching.